Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Rhodes. I'm CEO of Sente Mortgage, and I want to welcome you to our exclusive invite-only event with Coach Derek Cheney. I can see the numbers flooding in. We've got a lot of people that are joining this event, and so I'm going to get an introduction going, but I'm seeing the numbers surge as we start. So, just as an opening, this is an extraordinarily tough time in the market. So, from my perspective, taking an hour out of your week to invest in your growth is a testament to your commitment to the industry. And on behalf of everyone at Sente Mortgage, we really appreciate that you are here. So first, let me orient you a little bit to your screen, specifically the Q&A button. So if you look there at the bottom, you should have a Q&A button and have that handy. If you press on it, it'll open it up. Coach Derek wants to answer your questions. So after his presentation, he's going to go live to your questions. And so as things progress, if you've got a question, put it in there and we'll work hard to get to it at the end of the call. So for 16 years at Sente Mortgage, we have been passionately committed to our business partners and the way we can help them succeed. So whether it's our much loved loan rescue service, where we deploy high-level resources to save our loans that get stuck at other lenders, or today's special event, we are in it with you for the long haul. So let's get started. It is my honor to introduce Master Coach Derek Cheney. Derek began his coaching career in the world of professional tennis. A tennis player himself, he got into coaching some of the top players in the world in terms of helping them achieve peak performance. He got into the mortgage business as an originator and closed over 110 million in 2010, back when 100 million was a lot. And he used those performance skills that he had developed and honed in coaching high-performing athletes. So now he coaches and trains some of the best mortgage professionals in the country and has an incredibly unique perspective on how to navigate challenging times like this. So Derek, we are really excited you're here, and I'm going to pass things over to you.
Thanks so much, Tom. I really appreciate that. All right, guys. Hey there. Listen, I'm super excited for today. My name is Derek Cheney. I want to start off by acknowledging you. As Tom just said, this is the most challenging market we've seen since 2008. But by the sheer fact that you are here on this call, I actually know that you are a winner. We have a lot of clients that are experiencing extraordinary success right now, even in this market. And what I've noticed is that every single one of them have made 5 shifts. And what I'm going to do today for you guys is I'm going to give you those 5 shifts so that you can start winning now. As I go through these shifts, just do a little checklist on yourself, see where you're at, and see if you need to make any adjustments to in here, because I've seen firsthand that if you can make every single one of these shifts, you can make doctor level money in this market right now. You can serve a lot of clients and you can have fun again in this business. Now, Tom gave me a really nice little intro right there. But if you don't know me or you haven't heard of me, my best year as a mortgage producer was in 2010 when we originated 111 million. Before that, as Tom said, I was a tennis coach where I was fortunate to learn a lot about performance from world-class athletes. In 2015, I combined both these two passions. And now we have a coaching company where our mission is to help clients build real long-term sustainable businesses so that they have the freedom to live an inspired life. Let me tell you what an inspired life is, and it is possible right now. An inspired life is when you make a great income from your business, but you also have the time to enjoy it, all while making a difference in the lives of your clients. As I said, we have a lot of clients that are experiencing astonishing success right now. So let me cut right to the chase and give you those 5 shifts so that you can do the same. The first shift to make is be very intentional about your energy. When I first started coaching, I used to show people exactly what to do and exactly what to say. I would literally write their social post for them and just say, hey, listen, go post this. The same things that I used to create the success that we had in our business. And what baffled me is some clients did amazing, but some didn't. This drove me nuts. I used to stay up late at night trying to figure out, like, how can somebody be saying the exact same words as another person? One person kills it, one person doesn't. Luckily, at the time, a friend gave me a book called Power versus Force. I remember turning it over and I saw that it was endorsed by Mother Teresa, who used it to impact billions of people. and Sam Walton, who used it to create one of the greatest businesses in our history, which was Walmart. Once I started incorporating the stuff that I've learned in that book into our coaching, the results were stunning. So what I'm going to do for you right now is give you a Cliff Note version of that book and then how we use it in our coaching so you can get that shift as well. Here's the Cliff Notes version. Your mindset is everything. Okay. All of us have access to a wide range of thoughts and emotions. Okay, we at any given time, we can be in fear, we can be in anger, we can be in frustration, we can be in guilt, but we can also be in confidence, we can be in courage, we can have presence about ourselves, we can be in a loving energy. Here's what I learned, and this is fascinating, and I know it's deep for a Thursday at noon right now, but hang in there with me. As each one of those emotions gives off an energy that other people can feel when they are around us. That energy is either attracting people to you or it's repelling people from you. Okay. And sales, which is a large part of our job, is an attraction game. Succeeding right now in this business is a function of doing the right things and being in the right energy. It's not one or the other. You have to do both. I created a ladder. Sorry for that slide right there. Here's your slide if you want on that. I created a ladder so that you could see exactly what emotions are. Now, these are the most prominent emotions that we see in here. Now, there's other emotions, obviously, but here are the big ones in here that I see. If you're in a green energy at the top, your life's working, you're attracting people to your business, your business is growing, your life is improving. If you're in red energies, you are repelling people from you, your business is contracting, it is not going in the right way. Let me give you a concrete example. If you're worried right now about interest rates, lack of supply, housing prices, inflation, or even your bank account, you are in fear. And fear is a red energy. You cannot grow your business from a red energy or fear. Your energy is so important that it actually becomes your brand over time. I just saw this post in our Facebook group from one of our clients who's doing really well right now. And I wanted you to see this. She said, hey, listen, I have 13 purchase loans locked in and one reverse. 14 in the pipeline. I think we could easily grab 5 more left for September. I also had another realtor reach out to me from all the social marketing that I did last week. I say to myself all day, go green, go green, go green. Okay, so let's do a little check on your mindset right now so you can see where you're at, because what I've experienced with people, and in my own life too, you could ask my wife, is our biggest blind spot is the energy we're giving off to other people. Okay, we're world class at picking up other people's energy. Okay, if you start paying attention this week, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll see the people that you like and you want to do business with, they're in green energies. The people that you don't, you want to run away from, they're in red. But we are not great at figuring that out in our own selves right here. So I'm going to give you a question right now that will really give you an understanding where you're at. Okay, here's the context. It's Tuesday. It's this afternoon, and you're in the grocery store, and you see somebody that you know, and they come up to you and they say, "Gosh, how are you doing with all these high rates? How is your business doing?" If it's anything less than what I'm about to say, you know you have room to improve. So unless you're saying this, you know me, I do whatever it takes to succeed in any market. 2020 and 2021 were unicorn years. This year is actually pretty similar to every other year I've been in this business. Business is happening every single hour of every single day right now. And I feel so grateful that I get to wake up every single day and help people achieve the dream of home ownership. How are you doing? So if you're anything less than that right now, you probably have some room to improve, which is going to go to our second shift. Okay, here's a way for you to start improving your mindset, is really focusing in on the opportunities that we do have right now. Okay, if you focus in on the opportunities, you're going to be in confidence. And if you remember from that green chart, confidence is a very green energy. And you'll be able to put yourself out there. You'll be able to crush any obstacles that come your way. So let's go over those opportunities right now. For your clients, the opportunity is a house is so much more than an interest rate or a price on that or a lack of supply and all that stuff. A house is a home. It's where memories are made and stories unfold. When a client stumbles upon the perfect home that speaks to their heart, whether it's a backyard for their pets or the school system that they will shape and mold their children in, seize the day confidently with them. A house is also one of the best ways to build generational wealth. Let me show you this chart right here. This is a great chart to take a picture of, a screenshot of right here on this, and to show your clients. Is you can see for the last, I guess that's 35 years, if I'm doing that right. The blue line is the net worth of homeowners, and the green line all the way at the bottom is the net worth of renters. Okay, it goes up and down a little bit, but it doesn't crash what people think based on what housing prices are. That's a relatively stable line for the last 30 some years. Okay, it is staggering the difference between a homeowner's wealth and a renter's net worth. Okay, now let's talk about the opportunities in your business to get excited about. This is one of the most profound graphs that you can look at. I know that we have predominance of realtors on here, but this is applicable to you as well. Mortgage applications obviously drive very similar to what the home buying is as well. What this is over the last 30 years, the orange rate is the 30-year fixed rate, and the gray is mortgage application volume. And if you study this chart on here, you can see that there's 100% correlation that when rates go up, volume starts going down. And when rates start going down, volume starts going up. Now, that's not news for a lot of people, but when you look at this chart, it gives you context that we're never in some kind of market that's going to last forever. Okay, we are always going between two cycles. And so it's so important to understand that in these two cycles, as I said, rising rates, volume falls like now, declining rates when volume goes up. Nobody knows when these cycles shift. So that's the biggest question they're asking us on the street. Everybody, hey, when are rates going to go down? I'm sure everybody's asking you that as well. Here's what we know for certain. Nobody knows. Okay. And if they tell you they do, please run quickly. If this last cycle has taught us anything, is that nobody really knows. I saw a lot of people forecasting a lot of things over the last couple of years, and nobody got it right. There wasn't one analyst in anywhere that was saying rates would be at 7.5. Okay. So we don't know, but what we do know for certain is after every valley comes a mountain. Okay. So at some point, look at this chart. Rates will start a descending cycle at some point. It may be tomorrow. It may be next year. It may be 2025. I have no idea. Okay. Nobody does have that. But this is what I know for certain. When it does happen, it's going to unleash a torrent of business to you, because from the numbers that I'm seeing is there's going to be somewhere between 50 to 60% less competition for you. This is going to enter in a golden era for your business. Okay. Let me show you some other charts in here. As you know, home prices go up over time. If you look over the last 5 years in here, the last 5, 6, 7 years, you'll see home prices have doubled in that area. You obviously make a percentage of the purchase price if you're a realtor in here. So your income is up 100% on a transactional basis. So when this does shift, this is one of the big things that you're going to have a golden era in your business. For loan officer friends, this is the loan amounts over the last 10 years. Okay. Almost double as well. Okay. So you guys, I retired in 2013. You guys literally make double what I did per transaction in only 10 short years. This is an amazing business. Okay. It is an unbelievable opportunity. We get to help people, and we're going to make a lot of money in this business. Okay. So this is what I want you guys to all see in here too, is that moving forward, now there's a lot of charts right now in millennials. So if you look over here in the pink right here. That's the millennial generation. As we know, there's been a lot of press on that. There's a lot of people trying to buy homes right now. But look behind the millennials too, in the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs are almost as big as the baby boomer generation, and it's bigger than my generation, which is the Gen X. So go all the way back to the 15-year-olds. We have more 15-year-olds in our country than we do 50-year-olds right now. So you have a very, very, very long runway of demand and business to come at you. You're going to be looking at 50 to 60% less competition. You're looking at purchase prices and loan amounts being double what they were 5 to 7 years ago. You have an unbelievable opportunity in front of you. And I really hope that you can incorporate this and feel this. The best is yet to come for each and every one of you guys. Okay. And that leads us to our third shift. Is if you believe that and you're on pace with me right now and you're zoning in with me, ask yourself, do you have a vision for your business and your life that is motivating and fascinating for you? Having a long-term vision means you have a clear sense of what you're building. It means you have a much larger picture of our business and our life than simply just trying to survive the day-to-day problems as they come along. Visions are driven by our dreams and our passions for what is possible for you to achieve in your life. When you have a big vision in your life, you will find yourself waking up excited to go to work. You'll have more passion to serve while you're there. And you return home at the end of the day more fulfilled by the work that you do. Now, here's an example of a vision. We're doing it right now in our coaching business right now. We do a big live event in 2 weeks where everybody shares their visions and incorporates that into their business. Here's one that I just worked with a client on the other day. This is what she said. Derek, I'm building a business that will serve 100 clients with excellence so that they come back again and refer their friends and family. I only work 40 hours a week and I take 2 weeks of vacation every single year. I'm a great wife. I'm a great mom. I'm a great friend. I'm in great shape so that I have enough energy to perform at my best and enjoy my life. I have emergency funds. I contribute the max to my 401k and I pay extra on my house and I'm on the path to financial freedom. And I never let fear or procrastination hold me back from succeeding. Now, guys, making a vision is tough. Making a vision's not tough, but making a vision that's actually gets you excited is tough to do. So if you can for me, take a picture of this slide. These are great questions for you to go and sit by a river or sit outside back, have a glass of wine with your spouse and start answering these questions for yourself. It will open up so many cool conversations in there and you'll start to develop what's most important to you and what you really want to achieve because you are an entrepreneur, which means that you create your reality. And it is so important to design that reality first and make it something that you really want so that you're excited and motivated and you have a longer term vision than just what's happening right now when the home inspection just blew up a deal. Okay, I know that's frustrating, right? But when you have a bigger long-term vision, you start to be able to contextualize that in this overall part. Okay, so that once you have a vision, what you do then is that this will lead to our fourth shift, is you take that vision and you bring it into the realm of action. Okay. And this is what I mean by that is all you have to do to achieve your vision. I've measured this in my own life. I've seen, as Tom was talking about, I've seen professional athletes do this in their own life. I've seen it in so many clients' life. All you need to do is win the day in 3 key areas. Okay. It is so easy to wake up and fall into the trap of just checking your email and then putting out whatever fire you're facing at the moment. If you only do that, you will not thrive in this business. But if you wake up and the first thing you do is you win the battle in your mind. Okay, I told you that in that first shift, your mindset is everything. I can promise you that. There is nobody that's winning right now that doesn't have an A+ mindset. Okay, and if you do that and you work on your mindset, the first thing, you're going to feel unbelievable. The second thing to do is win the day in your health. It has been proven that the better shape you're in, the better everything in your life is. Okay, I'm not a 90 days to your bikini body type workout dude. I literally just lift weights 2 or 3 times a week, and then I walk the other times and do some mobility exercises. It really, really works. You do not have to overly even join a gym or anything, but if you can make it a priority and you win the day every single day in your health, you're going to be on the path to building something special. The third thing to do is every single day is win the day in your business. Let me be very specific with you. Every single day, do the sales and marketing activities that will grow your business. If your vision is bigger than just one person, okay, I just gave you one, but we have plenty of clients that are trying to help 200, 300, 400, 500 families. If you're trying to do that, you will need systems in your business and you will need teammates. Okay, so spending time building your business, if your vision's bigger, every single day is important as well. Okay, you do not have to do any of these three for a super long time. Win the day in your mindset, 10 minutes. Win the day in your health, 20, 30 minutes. Win the day in your business by doing sales and marketing activities, an hour. That's 2 hours out of your day. Those 2 hours will completely change the trajectory of your life. You can massively change everything with 2 hours a day. Which leads us to the last shift in here. This is what I see over and over with our top clients. Be on a mission to be the best professional in your marketing, all your in your market, all your marketing, all your everything that you do, make it your mission to be the best. Okay, what you do really matters. You play a pivotal role in the lives of your clients, and when your clients feel that you are really skilled at guiding them to make great decisions, when you take your focus off of yourself and you advise them on what's best for them, not to try to sell them on anything, you begin to position yourself differently than your competition. You're going to stand out in their hearts and minds. And this is what I can promise you is if you have faith and you believe this is true, people will beat down a door to work with you and they will refer you to their friends and their family and they will come back to you as well. Guys, I know this is a challenging time, but I do want to have this message to you is you can win now. And if you can win now, you will make a fortune in the next cycle. So let me recap the 5 shifts here for you today. The first one, be intentional about your energy. It is so important. Your mindset is everything. This would be a good thing. Maybe if you can get the recording of this, go back and listen to the questions that I asked on this and then see where your mindset is. Make sure that your mindset is in a place of abundance every single day. Make sure your mindset is in a place of, I will do whatever it takes to succeed every single day. Make sure that you're always in green. The second thing is focus on the real opportunities of this business. Okay. If you wake up and you watch the news is all about telling you what's wrong. That's what they do. Okay. And so many people, when you go, why is everybody negative in America? Well, that's why, because everybody's conditioned to wake up and watch what's wrong. There are real opportunities in right now in this market. There are real opportunities in your business. I think this is one of the most wonderful times to be in this business right now, because as I said, you're building right now for the future as well as only being winning now, but you have to focus in on those opportunities. You cannot get sucked into all the blah, 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 blah. The third thing is have a vision for your business and your life. Here's the most important thing. That is fascinating and motivating to you. Keep going on that vision until you get it absolutely where you wake up and you're excited every single day. It's really hard, okay, to do that. But the people that do it, I have seen them transform and change their entire lives. We dedicate a whole couple days at our live events to this, and we help people create them, and then we make them share it and all this. It is a beautiful, unbelievable experience. And everybody that does it and does it in the right way, and the stuff that I gave you literally changes their life. And they start creating the stuff that they had in there. And it gives them a lot of motivation as well. The fourth thing is once you have that, win every single day in 3 key areas. Win the day in your mind, win the day in your body, and win the day in your business. That is the path. Ask anybody that's successful right now. You don't even have to believe me. They'll all go, well, it's pretty easy. I wake up, I listen to some podcasts while I'm on my walk. And then the next thing I do is then I do a social post, and then I call 3 or 4 people and I talk to them, and then I go about my day. Like, they literally don't think it's a big deal. And I'm always like, hey, look, that's a big deal. That's why you're successful. Oh, okay. It becomes habitual over time. It's easy to do. It's actually fun to do. When you're in the right mindset, it's actually fun to do as well. And the fifth shift is be a mission to be on the best. Okay, really help people. Be very skilled in what you do. Do all the trainings. Do everything. Know more than any other people in your market. Be a great resource for people. Help people. Really serve people. You stand out in that context. This business becomes really easy. I know it might not sound like it right now, but I can promise you, this business becomes really easy when you do all of those things, because they will come back to you and they will refer you. And every single one of you know that the best deals are the repeats and the referrals as well. But they won't if you're not in those 5 things that we talked about. So listen, I started off by acknowledging you. This is a hard time. I'm not going to say that it's not. Anybody that that's done this for a long time know that it is. But I can tell you right now that you can be successful in this market. There's a lot of people that are. There's plenty of business to be successful right now. I don't know if you remember that chart that I showed you on that. Let me see if I can go back to that and show you again. So look over, this is the mortgage application volume. Look over at 2023 right now. There's still business. Business is being done every single day. Is it 2020 and 2021? Nope. But it's not too far off of 2014 through 2019. We're not that far. There is business right now in here. Be successful now. I'll jump off here and I'll take any questions or any comments or anything that you have. Thank you so much for being here. I honor you. I acknowledge you. I have a heart for you. I know that this is hard, but I promise you, if you can do these 5 things, you can be successful right now and you can have an amazing life. Thank you so much.
Terrific. Thank you, Derek. We've got a bunch of questions, and I think this will be good for everyone that's joining him. So thanks for the presentation. We got really kind of 2 around the red and the green. People want to hear a little bit more about red and green and understanding that. So one was, can you go over the red-green ladder? And there was another one about your energy becomes your brand over time.
Yep.
And they wanted to explore that. And I think they might be kind of related. The other one was, if I recognize that I have some fear, what's something I can do today? So there's a couple around that. So maybe you can bring up the ladder, the red green ladder, and take another moment. I think it sounds like, let's go through, kind of take the red through the green and the feelings.
Yeah.
And then within that, like, if you're in one of these spots, what's one thing you can do to kind of move up a spot on the red green ladder?
Yeah. Are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing the?
Yep, we got it.
You got it. Okay. So, hey, listen, guys, I literally could do this all day long. I do, sometimes I'll go to companies and I'll do speeches on just screen red, and they'll be 3 or 4 hours and I'll talk about it all night. It's a deep, deep concept. But it's one of the things that literally can change everything. It can change the culture of your home. It can change the culture of your team. It can change the culture of your business. If you start really, this is the best thing that I can offer you, is if you start just being very aware of the way that you feel. I'm going to give you a question to ask yourself. Let's do it right now, Tom. You want to?
Great.
Tom, how does it feel to be Tom right now? Describe to me how it feels to be Tom.
Well, right now, I'm kind of fired up. I've got a
Yeah.
little adrenaline, right? I'm on a live webinar with you.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And I'm reminding myself to smile because I'm on camera.
So I would say to you, you're in somewhere in that courage zone. You're in a green right now. So one of the most profound things you can ask yourself, the first step in even doing this, guys, is just asking yourself that question. How does it feel to be you right now? If somebody else wants to do it, Tom, why don't you see if anybody else wants to do it? I'll ask you that. How does it feel to be you? Right in the chat box right now, and I'll tell you where you're at on the green red. If anybody does have any like vulnerability and wants to say any of the reds, that's totally fine too.
Well, let's talk about the reds, because you talk about how your energy becomes your brand, and so there's a question about that. But and I'm going to translate it a bit, is that so if I'm in red,
Yeah.
what does that mean for my brand? And what does that mean if I'm in green? And what does that mean for my brand?
So if you think about somebody picture just somebody in your market, picture two people for me, Tom. Picture somebody that you want to do business with, that you like doing business with, and describe that person to me.
I feel comfortable around them.
Yeah.
I enjoy their company.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel good around them.
Yeah.
I'm saying a lot of feelings, but I think for me that would be an example on the other side. On the other side, perhaps if it's someone that's like team seems too eager, it feels like they're just trying to get a transaction.
Yeah.
I don't know that I feel like they're invested in me. That might be another person.
So the first person you described is you're describing somebody that may have a loving energy about them, they have a peaceful energy about them, they're confident, they're helping you out. Not attached to outcomes is when somebody's serving without trying to get you to do something. They're just helping. And that's one
Okay.
of the most profound energies that people feel. If you really pay attention to the people, as I said, that you like doing business with, you'll see you're craving to find somebody that just wants to help you and guide you. Okay, that's that second green energy up there. So it's somebody that's having the courage to put themselves out there and then the courage to just serve and help. That's who you're looking for. And that's Tom, that's somebody you do business with, that's somebody you go back to doing business with, and that's also somebody you refer, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And so when we talk about the question again is about your going into energy becomes your brand. I think a lot of us think our brand is marketing, our brand is our logo, our brand is that. But what I'm hearing you say is that there's another brand, and it's sort of what our energy does to customers in a sense that whatever energy we have, are we red, are we green, the customers is creating a brand about us.
yeah, so let me finish on the red. Let me go to the red and then I'll address that right there too. So if you picture somebody you don't want to do business with, if they're coming from fear and anxiety, remember when I was talking about like if you're worried about your own paycheck or the interest rates or all these different things, people actually pick that up from you because now you're trying to manipulate somebody into selling, into doing something, and they start running from you right there. They can feel if you're in fear and anxiety and or pride or arrogance. So it would be one of those two. Now, the question about the brand. All right. So what I said is your brand becomes that over time. Yes, you can fool somebody for a little bit. Okay. You can go hire the best marketing people and you can put on the best things and you got your blue shirt on and you got your smile on and you do all that stuff. Over time, you guys know this business is very small. Over time, you know the major people in your market. They know you. You can't fool them anymore. There's no amount of putting lipstick on a pig you can do. All right. You know that. And so what I mean by that is if you're showing up in these green energies, if you're there to serve, if you're not attached to outcomes, if you have courage and show it every single day, if you have confidence to do that stuff, it actually becomes your brand. It's not you. Like when I first started this business, I don't know if you see me right now, like I always wear a blue shirt. So before people knew me, they'd go, Derek, the blue shirt thing. That was a talking point for like a minute. You know what I mean? But then over time, the energy that I am and the business that you build becomes your actual brand. And so all these marketing people, it's fine. It doesn't hurt you. It's good to have everything be good. It's just not the entire
Yeah.
concept, if that makes
Well,
any
we
sense.
had someone made it in the comments. They said clients remember how you make them feel, which is, I think, another way.
100%.
Is that energy.
But
So,
let me address that real quick. This is really important. Clients remember the way that you made them feel because they feel about you the way that you feel at that moment. It is very deep.
okay, you have to go and say that again slowly.
I know it's really deep. People feel about you the way that you are feeling. So using the context, if you're confident and you're there to serve people and you're not attached and you're not trying to manipulate people, right there, they feel that and they like to be with somebody that does that. If you're in fear and you're in anxiety and you're trying to manipulate somebody into selling something and you're talking real quick and you're blah, 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 and you're trying to do all this stuff, They feel that too. So the way that you're feeling, that's why I asked you that question. The most profound question you can ask yourself throughout the day is, how does it feel to be Tom now? Or whoever asked that question. How does it feel to be Tom now?
And I think that connects to the answer when you run into someone in the grocery store and they say, how's business? And we can say, oh my gosh, it's a
Wow.
mess. There's nothing going on. And the way the script that you did, which I think is in the recording will be really helpful, is
Yeah.
it exudes peace, love, happy, confidence. So another question is, if I'm somewhere on the ladder in red, what's a thing that I can do to move up? So if I'm kind of at the fear and anxiety, or maybe I'm angry, I don't know. But if I'm trying to get to red, what's one thing that I can do that begins that shift?
So there's a couple different ways to answer this question. Number one is you know yourself best. And what I've seen is there's not a one size fits all. What I can tell you, generally speaking, is that if you do win the day in those three areas, you are going to feel really good afterwards. So, meaning you wake up and instead of watching the news, you listen to positive podcasts. You listen to this over again, right? So take this, make sure that everybody gets this. Listen to this. I've listened to some things 25, 50 times until I get it, right? Until you really start to change. So the number one thing is work on your mind the first thing that you wake up. The second thing is do some level of exercise. It changes your body chemistry. It's unbelievable. If you're in a bad place, go out and just walk around for a little bit. Listen to some great music in there. And then the other thing, which is in that win the day system, if you get over your fear of putting yourself out there and you have courage and you just show up and you do the activities without being attached to the outcome, you feel so good afterwards. Afterwards, what I've seen is when you do the activities, when you do the work, when you're moving forward towards a vision, you don't get stuck into like, oh my God, and that deal didn't close, and I'm not gonna make my mortgage, and blah blah blah. Like that thought right there is going to hold you back. Some days are going to be great in this business, some aren't. That's the truth. If somebody tells you differently, they've never done this business before. Some days you'll close 3 deals and you'll be jumping around. Some days you're going to lose a deal right at the end based on something that was outside of your control. But if you keep doing these win the day stuff, you're going to end up feeling really, really good. Not so much respective on what's happening currently, but because you're moving towards something bigger. That's the best that I've seen in a general speaking. Now I can go into meditation. My wife's a therapist. So she would tell me, hey, there's a lot of different things. There's neurofeedback. There's all these cool things out there that I could talk for hours on. But generally speaking, I can tell you that if you win the day in those three areas, you're going to be in green.
So what I love about this, I think a lot of times when we have industry experts on, there's a tactical thing, and do a certain number of phone calls, write notes, do something. Here you're dealing with this kind of more fundamental mindset. I love that you say be unattached to the outcome. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I'm attached to the outcome of this presentation. I'm attached to the outcome of how dinner goes with my family. I'm attached to the outcome on a deal. So it's great to say that. Help me understand how I can be unattached to the outcome.
Yeah. So that goes into that fifth shift. So there's a wonderful book, Four Agreements, out there that I would recommend for anybody that's going, Derek, you can't do that. I don't.
It's the Four Agreements, right?
Yeah. And so that's what I pulled. And what I see is, and I think you know this about me. I think you'd say this about me. Like we've done a lot of these now together. Is I try to show up every single day and do my absolute best. There's that works 95 to 97% of the time, but there's 3 to 5% of the time where me doing my best, it doesn't work. I was telling you the story the other day. Eric knows this story too. Guys, the first time I did a Zoom presentation, I was so nervous to do it. This was in 2014 when Zoom was literally the CEO had a secretary. That's what Zoom was in 2014. And so I call them. They didn't even have a turn off they didn't have any of the stuff that they have now. So I showed a video of a presentation I did because I wasn't confident enough yet to give a presentation. And I went out and ran right before that to get all fired up, to have a good energy. And so I put on the presentation and I didn't know that there was a camera where you could still see me. So the presentation was 26 minutes. So I take off my shirt and I go put it into the washing machine because I'm like, I'll dry it. By the time that it gets on, I was sweating so bad. And for 26 minutes, people saw me up in the corner with my shirt off and my feet up, and I'm looking out the window, and they're thinking I'm talking. So, but even in that context, man, I had courage. I tried to do my best. It just wasn't good. Do you know what I mean? And so that's how I'll tell you that came from sports too, and especially if you play a sport like tennis. Like you enter a tennis tournament and there's 128 people. So 127 people lose every single week in a tennis tournament. You get really good. I think that's a benefit of sports. You get really good at going out, doing your best, and losing and then getting over it. Like you have to
So
learn that skill. Does
you
that make
touched on
sense?
tennis. You touched on tennis, and I want to share. I don't think this is too off topic, but you mentioned you were coaching a player that would go up, I think, against Federer, and you were always fascinated by skill level. They were the same.
Yeah.
Federer would beat them, and you tie it to where their mindset is. That
It was
that
actually,
skill
yeah,
level,
it's actually,
technical skill, they're the same, and the difference maker was what's on this screen. Can you briefly, if it's relevant, can you explain that? Because I think it's the core message you're trying to say is there are all these activities you do, but if you're not in green, it doesn't matter. You mind sharing that?
yeah. So for him, he was number 60 in the world. But when you're warming up, you'll get to play some of the best players. So one day I was watching him and he's playing against, it was actually Djokovic. And, uh, and he was beating them in practice. And this happens all the time in tennis. But when he'd get into a match, he'd get really into his head. He'd start overthinking things. His breathing would get all out of whack. He wouldn't toss the ball high enough. I know that's technical, but it was all going through his mind. So when you're a high level tennis coach, you're only talking about mindset with people. There is no tactics. You're not telling them how to hit balls. You're only talking about mindset. So that's where I learned that stuff in there. What I can tell you is, and for loan officers and realtors, it is the exact same thing. I can't overemphasize to listen to that first shift over and over and over again until it starts to seep in and you go, yeah, you know what? When I'm in the grocery store, I'm actually pissed because I just lost a deal. This market sucks. Interest rates are never going to come down. What am I going to do? I can't even pay this thing. And then somebody asks me how it is, and I'm not going to go, oh, it's a great day. Okay. But you just had an opportunity to create a relationship with somebody and you didn't because you're in red. Not that you're bad, but it's the same thing. What I can tell you is that the top people that I coach, some of the best in the nation, and when you go, how do you coach some of the best in the nation for almost 10 years on the same thing? We're always trying to get better at the mindset. Does that make sense? Always trying to get better at the mindset.
Well, that leads to some of the question. You covered this a bit, but it's like sort of how do I work on mindset every day? So you talked a little bit about it, and I think in your chart you said, spend 10 minutes. So let's
Yeah.
start for beginners. Let's do 101 mindset. Let's go back into a little bit more. I wake up and what are things that I can do for 10 minutes that are going to improve the chances that I'm in green so that in that analogy of Djokovic versus another player, that's the difference maker in winning the game.
Yeah. So literally the second you start getting consciousness, your first thought should be today's going to be a great day. So today's going to be a great day. And you immediately start into it. Today, I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed. Today, I'm so excited about helping somebody to find one person. There's somebody in my market right now that is praying to find a realtor that cares for them and that is great at negotiating and one of the best right now. It is my job to find that person today. I am so excited. I'm so excited that I get to do this job. Okay. Everybody's talking about I have to do this dumb job right now. I get to go out and serve today. Those should be your first thoughts when you first wake up, and you should stay in that place every single morning. The second that you wake up, that's going to give you an energy that's going to be completely different than you could. Now, if you're not there yet, there's a really cool tool called Think Up. It's like $3 a month. It's an app. You can record those affirmations on that. And so what I just said in there, a lot of clients, what we'll say is like, go record your Think Up affirmations. And then when you wake up, just put those on. Start listening to the right things. Your brain's a muscle. Okay. It's no different than your bicep. Okay. So if you got flabby biceps, You don't you know what you have to do if you wanted to improve your biceps. Your mind is a muscle as well. It has to be trained. You have to train it for happiness. You have to train it for success. I can tell you this, guys, that the world is not going to do it if you're not intentional. I don't know if you remember the first shift. I said be intentional about putting yourself in the right energy. So every one of those words is important. Every top person is intentional. They do stuff to put themselves in that energy. They understand it's a muscle. They understand it's the most important thing that you can do every single day. It's
So, so on that, probably everyone on this call has been to what I'd call a motivational seminar, right? That
yeah,
fires you up, you feel good.
yeah,
So I could listen to what you're saying and feel like, well, that's like just like a motivational seminar.
yeah,
So I want to chat, like, for people listening and hearing that is like, well, that's just like, let's all get pumped up and let's go.
yeah.
What makes this different than sort of going to a motivational seminar, if that makes sense?
So the best thing is that I'd say to everybody is don't believe anything I say. Just go test it for yourself, see if it works. That's that's the best way. I'm not asking anybody to believe this. I'm not saying that I'm Mr. Know-it-all. I'm just telling you what I've seen works. And so if you are somebody, like, go test it. Go take this, listen to this every day for the next 10 days. Do it, get the think up, start doing it. What I've seen is that 10 to 14 days, people start really experiencing shifts in their life. It's fascinating. But I'm not telling any of you guys to do that. Like, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm the same as you, Tom. I'm like, great, I'm all fired up right now. What does that do for me long term? So that's what I'm telling you is like, go do win the day in those three areas for 10 to 14 days and message me. You tell me. And if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. That's the best way I could say it. But everything I can tell you in here is not stuff that I made up. It's stuff that I reverse engineered. So as I said, I got to be with the world-class athletes. I get to be with world-class clients right now. And so I'm always asking myself those questions too. These are the five that I see in there.
Yeah.
Now, listen,
So,
it's hard to win the day in three areas. So that sounds like really quick that I just ran through that and blah, 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 blah. Go really do that. That's the difference.
yeah.
Go really win the
Well,
day.
look,
Go
I think
do the
everyone on this call wants to be the Djokovic, of real estate, right? So, I mean, I think we got a motivated audience. So, another
I don't
question here
know,
is,
man. I don't know. Go look at Djokovic. Go read on Djokovic. He does the work every single day, and that's what puts him above the people that he
yeah,
beats. Like
I got to learn how to spell Djokovic before I can read that. So,
yeah.
we got another question here. So it's someone has a team, so it's an agent with a team. So
Yep.
the question is, what recommendations do you have? Is it to get the team aligned on message? Is it, do you say something on a daily huddle or a weekly gathering? But great, you're helping individually work on this ladder. What do we need to do for our teams?
Well, the same thing that you're doing this for your team right now. So I would bring in a coach. I'd give them this video. I'd start introducing that to your team. I'd start letting them listen to that stuff. I think it's super important to have coaching. I think it's super important to listen to this stuff. I think you can do it once a week. I think you can bring it up. I think you can say our meeting's going to be about what's winning now, what's working right now. Let's focus on that. How can we do more of that in there? How is our mindset in there? I gave you a couple questions that you can ask. How does it feel to be you right now? If it's not in red, what are you doing to change those? I've given a lot of these speeches to companies where then you say, hey, we're going to adopt a green culture as well too. And so if you're the leader of a company, you can come in and say, hey, listen, part of our culture is we're going to be a green culture. This is who we're going to be, and this is what we're going to do. And so we're going to invest in this stuff. So I've seen that change a lot of cultures as well in there.
We got a question about books you recommend, but I think what we'll do is we'll get your list offline. We're going to share this recording with everybody on it. And you mentioned the Think Up app, and you've mentioned power versus force and the four arguments and stuff. But we'll gather a few things, and for those of you on the call, we're going to send you a copy of this with that. another question is great. So I'm gonna record these daily affirmations. Help me, give me three or four. Like, what would I say? So literally take me through this. Like I'm new at this. This feels weird. I've never recorded a daily affirmation before. What do I say when I'm doing this, and how do I get past it?
Um,
Give me just the sort of thing. Give me two or three things. What's it? Okay, just do it for me. Tomorrow, after this call, I'm going to record a daily affirmation that I'm going to listen to for the next 15 days. What am I going to say?
so this is what I would say is the first one in there is today is going to be a great day.
Okay, today's
It's
going to be a great
literally,
day.
so I taught my mind to do this. So literally when I wake up, my mind already says that. That took work though. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
I was not always like that. So when I wake up, if you were with me, when I wake up, my mind automatically goes, today's going to be a great day. The second one is today, I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed. Second one.
Okay. And so I record this. Do I say it several times? I mean, 101 here. Do I
Well,
say it
I mean, think
for
up.
10
I mean,
minutes?
yeah, on Think Up, or you can do a voice memo, put it as a voice memo if
Yeah.
you don't buy the Think Up.
How long do I record these affirmations? And do I repeat them?
Yeah, the Think Up does it for you. So you can, like, I'm not a Think Up salesman, but Think Up, if it like does it for you, you don't have to do anything on Think Up. I think it's like $3 a month. If you don't want to do it, you can do it on a voice memo too, where you just wake up, listen to your voice memo.
Great.
But you're teaching yourself how to think better. And if you think better, you're going to feel better. And if you feel
Yeah.
better, you're feeling
Yeah.
green.
No, I'm on board. I just want to make sure that for people listening who have not, I've not done this before,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know.
based on some of the questions people haven't. So we'll record it. And about how long, if we're starting, if we're beginners, how long should that voice recording be?
I mean, so Think Up, it goes on repeat. So I would keep doing, today's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to succeed. Today's gonna be a great day. I'll do whatever it takes to succeed. It literally will play it over with music. Now, as if you're in coaching, and so like Eric probably has 20, like over time, the next one I would do is then you do a vision and then you put your vision in there. I'm so excited to help 100 families this year. So once you have a vision in there, I'm so
Yeah.
excited to have a real business where I only work 40 hours a week. I'm so excited to be able to take 2 weeks vacation. I'm so excited to and then be tactical, to have an emergency fund, to max out my 401k, to pay more on my mortgage right now so that I become financially free at this amount of time. Boom. And so, but we'll
And
do
the,
this
and
for
the
people like,
cumulative is you're going to show up, you're going to run into a possible client in at the grocery store, and you're going to be in green, which is great. You mentioned vision. I got a question on vision. Um, I've done visions before, but you talk about a fascinating vision. So what explain, like, what does it mean to have a fascinating vision as opposed to here's my vision statement, right? Explain the fascinating part.
yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I'm glad you picked up on that. There's a lot of people with mission statements that aren't on true missions. There's a lot of people with vision statements that are not, that they don't really want to happen. It's something. Now, this gets deep. You want me to go deep? I don't know. I know we don't have a lot of time,
Great, let's
but
try it. Let's try
the
it.
vision could be coming from your parents because it's inherent in your mind and you think you should be at a certain thing. That's not fascinating and motivating. Your vision could be coming from your boss. Your vision could be coming from Instagram. You go look at Instagram and you think, all right, listen, my vision is to have a bikini body and to do a bunch of dances on a reel so that I become an influencer. That might be what you like. That might be coming from ego. I don't know if you're looking at red green right now, but that might be coming from pride or arrogance. It's not something that you really truly want. So the best question you can always ask yourself is, what do I really, really, really want? And you keep going. And it's deep, man. Like, as I said, we do this for hours at live events with clients, and we keep going. We just keep digging. What do you really, really want? 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 And if you get it, you'll know. So when you have a vision, you put it up and you get excited by it. I have one, I'm super excited about it, and you'll know. And so you put it on Think Up and it gets you going, or you do it and you put it on there and like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to try to find 40 people to sell them a house. And and then maybe I'll be able to, afford my car payment. Like it's not it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
you have to go, what do you really want? Well, I actually want to have enough money to be able to take a vacation. Boom. All right. What else do you really want? Well, I really want to have enough time to enjoy it. Boom. Put it on there. Okay. Next, what do you really want? Well, I really want to be able to give to charities. Boom. Put that on there. What is it? So you keep going. Everybody's literally different. We do it with an individually, but this is where if you have a coach, it helps. But you can do it amongst yourselves too. Um, but you keep going until it's like, dude,
Mm.
that's what I want.
Well, and I sort of in the Q and A's a comment, but the vision needs to be authentic and personal. And what I'm hearing you say is we have a lot of visions out there that are put on us. It's our parents. It's what
Yeah.
we think we should say. It's academic,
It's
like it's a good
social.
vision. Teacher will like my vision, but in the end, what you're asking, that process is making it authentic, and that speaks to the fascinating and even the motivating, right? I think you said it's fascinating and motivating, but it needs to be authentic, and it's hard. Our first vision might not be authentic.
Yeah, because why? Go look at that middle energy, compare jealousy too. So it's super easy to go on social and say, oh, look, that person's always on vacation. So if I was always on vacation, then I blah 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 blah. And I'm going, listen, I know some of those people that are posting all that stuff, they are not that happy. They're telling you the best thing. But if you start comparing yourself and you start being jealous of what other people are doing, then you start making visions that you don't really want, that aren't fascinating and motivating. That's why like it took a long time to get this, because even when I started out, I'm like, build a vision statement or have a mission. But if it's not fascinating and motivating, it's not going to work. But
But
if it
so,
is,
so there's tons in there. Like I get, we're just about out of time, but there's tons. So the first thing
I
you said
know we could do this for
is
hours. I know.
is you're on Instagram and comparing or jealousy, which social media is a lot about comparing.
Yeah.
So social media is putting us in red. That's the first thing I think what you're saying there is if we're looking at it from a standpoint of comparing. And then from that standpoint, if we're doing that and we're trying to build a vision, we might be building a vision based on someone else's post and not our own.
The only thing I would change out of that statement is I don't believe social media is putting you in red. I believe it's because you're comparing yourself to the people on social media that's putting you in red. It is not a requirement to be in red on social media. You can use social media to uplift people. You can use social media to inspire people. You can use it. It's the greatest relationship tool that's ever been created. You can create so many relationships with people on here. So I don't have that negative view that a lot of people talk about. Social media is doing this. No, it's because when you look at the post of the person on vacation, you're comparing your life to that person. Hence, you're in red, and then you blame social media. So still to my point, but I do think you have to be aware that if you're not intentional and you go on social media and you're just scrolling, it's really easy to compare yourself and get in a bad place. But if you're doing the work to be in green, you get on social media, you see somebody that's doing something and you get to congratulate them, you're creating relationships. It's an amazing tool.
And I will just say a lot of reactions from the audience when you talked about that. So I think that really
Somebody could debate me on it. I'm
that
fine.
that that touched
I'm
a
saying that's
nerve.
my opinion. That's
No,
only
no,
my
no, no,
opinion.
no. I think part of what it was that was a really good. Like I'm digesting that. That was really powerful, Derek. We are really grateful that you've taken time to go through this today. I know we promised everyone an hour, and I want to make sure we get done. For the folks that are listening, we're going to share the recording. Derek, we're going to pick up offline just the resources, and we'll put that in the email. So if they're books, the Think Up app, these different pieces, we'll add that in there. And really, really, really kind of profound, like things to think about in a different way as we deliver in a tough market. And I really appreciate it. And I'm going to give you the closing piece before we wrap up.
It's how I started. I really want to acknowledge each and every one of you guys. I'm not here to say that this isn't a challenging market. It is definitely the most challenging since 2008. But I'm also here to be a resource for you to say there are people succeeding wildly right now. And every single one of you guys can as well. I do believe, and this is my opinion, that you have to do all 5 of these shifts It's not something to dabble in. It's not something to say that was some fun information or that was a cool little speech. It's something to do. The people that will take this and actually do the stuff will be successful right now, and they will make a fortune. My hope and my prayers is each and every one of you guys. You guys have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.